Pa'atalofanti lau pa'apunga Samoa le nei taimi o le taiao o no e pa'apunga mai le polokalame malua le taiao Radio Samoa te silima I watolu a mo ma le taimi masani ma le avanoa le au maua lea ua mātou whaatasi ai ma le awhionga I le Minister for Pacific Peoples le ngata I lea Minister o loo tau aveina Minister of Economic Development, Internal Affairs, Pacific Peoples, Associate Minister of Health Pacific Peoples, Cyclone Recovery and of Housing. Now, whaatalawhāti le nei tai au, Barbara, whaptei lava mo le whaavanoa ino lo teimi. E tātou te whaatasi e lunga tātou polokalame.
Talofa lava, so good to be able to join you today. It's been a fantastic budget day.
Oh, Barbara, thank you so much. We could understand how busy you are today, but we really appreciate you taking the time to be with us. So, first of all, you mentioned budget, the announcement. Yeah, level whaamatu mai le paketi, yeah, ale malo e ala le budget announcement. Yeah, te oi. Olo whawhiawhia ina oi I le paketi lea. Are you happy with the budget announcement today?
Absolutely. This is my first budget as a minister. I've been involved in lots of budgets over the years, but I'm very proud of the package that we've pulled together for our Pacific communities.
Now, speaking of budget for our Pacific peoples, e mawhaiona e whaamatala mai ni vaenga o loo whesosoani e le paketi moa tātou tangata Pasifika. What is in the budget for our Pacific people?
So there's a lot for our Pacific people. So if I think about it more broadly, the budget package really supports our Pacific families. So there is 5 million has gone to Pacific early childhood education, and some of the wider budget initiatives like extending the 20 hours free for 2-year-olds, it allows our Pacific parents to be able to go to work, and our 2-year-olds and those that have 2-year-olds be able to have that 20 hours free, because currently you can only access it when they're 3 years old. Also for our families, being able to have free public transport for those who are under 13, and then half price fares for those who are under 25. It means that our kids can get to school, or, you know, if they have to get back and forth from their different activities and they use public transport, it means it's free for them if they're under 13 and half price. We also have a huge investment in warmer Kiwi homes, so 100,000 additional heating and insulation, what they call retrofits. So Pacific and Māori people have really benefited from this warmer Kiwi homes initiative. And then basically all of this together is around easing the cost of living pressures for our Pacific people. But one of the really big ones is around our stronger Pacific communities is the prescription fees that's been scrapped. So we know that especially for a lot of our older Pacific people, that $5 prescription fee per item, not in total, but per item, has meant it's been hard for them to access the medicines they need. So we've scrapped that. So that's basically a huge thing, especially because Pacific people, you know, are sort of lower in those sort of health indicators. We've also got a 14.1 million investment in Pacific community resilience and well-being. What that is the introduction of a new fund so that communities can help do initiatives from community-led that can help strengthen the capability and leadership of the Pacific workforce. One that the Radio Samoa listeners will really love is the additional funding in preserving Pacific languages. So there is a boost of 13.3 million in that area, which includes 4.2 million for some online hubs and information campaigns for Pacific language learners, but also probably one of the largest increases in Pacific media. So there's 9.2 million now, so that people can hear our language, they can share our language and speak our language, and making it more accessible. So that's for our Pacific language programming. And then we also have upskilling our Pacific people, so 12.8 million to implement our Pacific Employment Action Plan. So there's a number of different initiatives in there, but it's all about upskilling our Pacific people. So that's sort of a nutshell of the budget sort of package, but it's really about supporting our Pacific families and easing the cost of living for them.
I love that. And thank you for touching on, you know, upskilling and, you know, that I love seeing that there's a lot of focus on not only education, jobs, languages in the budget for our Pacific people, and also health, the prescription. But I wanted to ask, will we see funding for more initiatives such as funds for housing in terms of education for Pacific people with learning more about finance, and starting their home ownership journey? Because a lot of our people now are in rental homes, and we want to make that shift, seeing as, rental prices and everything. So I wanted to ask, will there be a fund for this initiative?
So the good news is there already is a fund for building financial capability for Pacific people. So each year there is a budget. So it tells us what the kupe is for that year and looking forward 4 years. But actually this builds on the last 5 years of $680 million of investment. So some of those programs which are being run by our community organizations in Pacific financial capability, they're still being funded over the next couple of years. So there's already a program for it, but I absolutely agree, making sure our Pacific people have that financial capability to help them into homes, help them, figure out what in their budget they need to do to save for a deposit is incredibly important, which is why it's been funded in previous budgets and it's still continuing.
Thank you, Barbara Edmonds. Now, another question is there anything else you would have loved to see added in the budget announcement today?
Today is really about what we want to do to help bring down the cost of living, because we know it's really tough times for our families. And so, some of the wider budget, like in health, where there's additional $20 million for immunization to help deliver the immunization which we need for Māori and Pacific. This is all about some of those bread and butter issues to try and bring down the cost of living, the expenses for our family. So there's always more that I would like. And I think any minister would always like to have more, but it's very much about looking at today, what we need to do for New Zealanders and our Pacific families. But also we've had some very big events at the beginning of the year, which require also funding as well, which is the cyclone, the floods. So there's a really big package, almost $1 billion, to help address some of those issues as part of those natural disasters. So really is a bread and butter budget for us and about getting the basics right.
And what is the most impactful announcement from the budget in your view?
All of them. It really is. Like when I think about it, our Pacific families will wake up in the morning, they can tune into whatever Pacific media, they'll hear our Pacific voices. When our kids need to get to school, they'll get half price transport fares, or if they use or it's free for our under 13s. When they go to school, there's more money in the budget to build, around the capital, making sure the schools fit the mana of the kids that are in there. Kids also there's an extension to the healthy free lunches that they receive. A number of our Pacific children and families benefit from that. And that's saving them around $60 a week per child, And then if I think about it, our elderly, especially our older parents and that, they have, as happens with age, you need the ability to, see the doctor, but sometimes that $5 is enough that you don't get your medicine. You can't afford it that week. And that might not just be one medicine, it might be 2 or 3. So, and then I think about the way that we upskill our Pacific people. So there's a $9.3 million fund for our community-led employment and training initiatives. It means that if you're not in school, that we have something to help you, find the things that you need to do to become, a worker. So there's just so much in it that I love, but it really is a strong package for our families.
Now, speaking of our families, Barbara, is there anything else that you'd like a call to action for our people in terms of this budget and where they can get that help? Is there a place where they can go and source this information from?
Yeah, so you can go on the Ministry of Pacific Peoples. They will have a lot of the Pacific specific initiatives. You can also go to the Beehive, the government webpage, which has basically a huge outline in the budget, or you can follow me on Facebook, and throughout the week, I will be sharing some of those elements and how it impacts our Pacific people. But throughout next week, though, we are actually doing a Pacific Roadshow. So the Deputy Prime Minister and myself as well as a number of our Pacific MPs will be joining us. We're in Porirua on Monday, we're in Christchurch on Tuesday, we're in Hawke's Bay on Wednesday, and then we finish at the Whale Samoa in Mangele in Auckland on the Thursday. So we will be taking this around to our communities to show them what's there for them and for their families.
Can anyone participate on Thursday? Can anyone join in and come to the Whale Samoa? Do they need a RSVP or anything?
So if you go to the Ministry of Pacific Peoples, they have got the details there already, and then where you can RSVP to turn up. So they're all breakfasts, and the reason why they're breakfasts is because we know our families have to go and work as well. So nice, early time in the morning, so then you can come to it and then you can head off to work.
That is very thoughtful. Whawhetei lawa pionga Barbara Edmonds ia mo le nei teimi. Male whaavuna ina po i nei teimi ia awale tātou talanoanga. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap it up?
Oh, we're just committed to ensuring that we can support our Pacific families through this cost of living pressures. Budget 2023 is all about making sure we look after each other, and I'm really, really proud of it.
Honourable Minister, thank you again for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we shall see you on Thursday.